get you, Barbara.
So,
What is coming to get you, David?
lots of things are coming, and they're exciting, but trepidatiously so, because I've only seen trailers and heard a little bit about it and know little to nothing about the production team or people in it. Anyway, I've got one that is directed by Caitlin Cronenberg. I thought, Caitlin Cronenberg, and she is related. It's written by Michael Sparaga, who I have never heard of before, but it's a film called Humane. The only thing about it that I really recognize is one of the actors, Jay Baruchel. No, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Baruchel.
It's probably Canadian if it's
Baruchel.
Cronenberg, so it's French, and who knows?
Yep. And he is Canadian, and you would recognize him immediately. He's like the voice in How to Train Your Dragon, and you would know his look when you saw him. Anyway, I saw the trailer and thought, this is very obtuse and weird, and I'm not sure what I'm watching, whether it's horror, science fiction, drama, thriller, whatever. But basically, the synopsis on IMDb says, in the wake of an environmental collapse that is forcing humanity to shed 20% of its population, a family dinner erupts into chaos when a father's plan to enlist in the government's new euthanasia program goes horribly awry. So
Wow.
it sounds very intriguing, but more probably as a thriller drama with sci-fi undertones. Maybe just because, set in the future, economic collapse,
Like
and the
Soylent
government has
Green.
this. Yeah. But instead of eating people, we're just going to just kill people.
Right.
And you can volunteer to die, and there's probably some government incentive for your family, I'm assuming.
I knew that his son was a director, and I'm pretty sure that the girl or woman that you're mentioning was a costume designer, but maybe she has crossed over. It seemed like he had another kid that was doing something else in the movie business.
And her credits have an incredible amount of still photography. So she must have been a photographer for him for a long time. But I think this is her first film. I think
Yeah, I
this
think
is
so
her
too.
directorial debut.
Nepo babies everywhere.
everywhere. But anyway, that's what's coming to get me. The current date is 2024, but a date hasn't been set yet.
So there's no concrete date, just this year.
Correct.
Okay.
So just this year.
Well, something is coming to get me that has a concrete date really soon and that I am highly anticipating.
Yes.
And it is a little movie called Maxine.
Ooh, the trilogy continues.
It does. And you and I talked not long ago about that, whether this might be one of the more revered horror trilogies once it is complete. We've got to see the third film first, but I love both the first and second film, X and Pearl. This is director Ty West bringing that trilogy to a close with the character that was originally introduced in the first film, X, and her name is Maxine. Of course, they do a triple X in the title because she was connected to porn in the first film. Now she is, from what I see in the trailer, a scream queen actress in like slasher movies of the 80s. And as we know, Ty West is fond of mimicking the decade that he is set in with his filming technique. So it'd be nice. It'd be kind of nice to see if he does that again. This one stars Mia Goth, of course, reprising the role, but it also has a pretty big cast, including Juan Carlo Esposito, Michelle Monaghan, and Kevin Bacon. So he's got higher profile actors in the third edition of this series. The synopsis is 6 years after the Texas porn house massacre, Maxine is now LA based and on a driven quest to become a star in the acting world. But things take a sinister turn when bodies once again begin to fall around her. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this, but it looks great.
It does. I agree.
It's got a lot of iconic imagery because they're on backlots. And like there's one point where you see the Psycho house and the old woman, Pearl, is up in the window instead of Mrs. Bates.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go out and watch the trailer. There are no reviews yet. This one's tightly under wraps, but it is hitting theaters on July 5th, 2024.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's coming to
Okay.
get me. David mentioned a movie called Humane, directed by a spawn of David Cronenberg, and hopefully out sometime this year. And I'm talking about Maxine, which is in theaters July 5th. What's coming to get you? Let us know. If you have anything in the comments down below, just mention, something you know about the films we talked about today, or something perhaps about a film that we should be talking about. And until next time, I'll be seeing you, David.
All right. See you then.
All right.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
You can't start the car. Johnny has the key.